Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with David Patterson. He's the owner of Patterson Pixel LLC. And today I'm just going to ask him a few questions so you can get to know him and his business. David, tell us what kind of work did you do before? And then tell us what got you started with your business.
Yes, I've been I've been in the tech industry for well over 5 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Started working at Pearson Education as part of their Learn to Work Pathfinders program, where our first project was to create a web application
Mm-hmm.
similar to like that of Duolingo but for coding called Goji Code, which is an interactive web app that's designed for young girls between high school and early adulthood, teaching them how to code in Python.
Mm.
We want to break down the misconception, which is that you need to have a high degree of math or science to get into coding. You don't. It's pretty simple, basic logic. Like, for example, if I go to a sandwich shop
Mm-hmm.
and I say, if I want lettuce on the sandwich, then if I say yes, it will add lettuce to it. If I say no, then it would ignore that, skip to the next step. Same concept of like an if else statement.
Mm.
Because of that, we actually had 35 test users, all positively reacted to it. And on top of the fact that we also got interviewed by the Iowa Tech Association for an award we won in New York City for our
Nice.
contributions for this project. After that, I was then transferred to the accessibility team I got to where I got to learn about the web content accessibility guidelines, level A, level AA, and level AAA requirements, which
Mm-hmm.
all go within ADA compliance. With websites, you have to treat them like public spaces.
Mm.
It's like, for example, like Walmart's required by law to have handicap spaces to be ADA compliant. Same thing with websites.
Mm.
So my responsibility is to make sure websites meet accessibility standards for people who have motion impairments or amputees, so they physically can't use a mouse, they have to use keyboard or other input devices.
Okay.
People who are visually impaired, so let's say nearsighted, blind, or colorblind,
Mm-hmm.
they can still be able to read the page contents. People who are deaf
Mm.
can still be able to navigate the pages as well, read contents on there. Worked on there for a bit, then transferred to Image Point. Worked there for almost 2 years, helping them out with bringing over my skills from Pearson Education to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I boosted their web accessibility compliance up to full compliance. They were originally at 47%. Then after that, and boost our overall web performance by 12%.
Nice.
The big key with that is with accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does it protect you with lawsuits that can range from $5,000 to $75,000, and that stuff sacks, but Google and other search engines will factor in ADA compliance into their SEO rankings, their search engine optimizations.
Mm.
So the more ADA compliant your website is, the higher it appears in search engine results, which means more traffic to that site as well.
Nice.
So I've done that for multiple big name unions, such
Mm.
as the FFA, Starbucks Workers United, the National Education Association, SEIU, IUPAT International, the National Treasury Employees Union, just to name a couple of them.
Mm.
Ever since the company decided to downsize our e-commerce operations in 2025, I've been in the middle of trying to launch my own business since I
Mm-hmm.
have all these skill sets and I know with the small community, this will be a great help in the future, especially with the ADA law updates that are happening on April 24th, 2026, which is happening within the public sector and government sectors, and eventually that will trickle down into
Mm.
the private sectors as well, similar to that of like how we have with like GPSs, how they were government items before they became commercial items for the general public in the
Mm.
2000s.
Okay.
So in the future, this is a good way to future-proof you, and also make the website accessible for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of disabilities or any device they use. Websites are public; they have to be treated like public spaces, and
Mm.
they should be available to anyone, regardless.
Okay, that's good. So you gain all that experience, and that made you want to just start your business to help out local business owners and local communities, right?
That's correct.
Okay, sounds good. And then, so David, tell us. So you started your company now, and then what's a real benefit people will experience once they hire you?
They love how open I am about the communication process.
Okay.
I do outline like my responsibilities, the client's responsibilities, who I
Mm-hmm.
work with, and I also will give out a very good list of deliverables just to make sure that everything we do is meeting our goals
Mm-hmm.
and that because of my openness, they really appreciate the fact that he's not being quiet and just doing stuff like that. No, I'm actually walking them through that, giving them updates about the process.
Mm-hmm.
That, it makes it very helpful, especially with how honest I am. Honesty is key, and diligence as well. So, like a good example of this is when I did the restoration project,
Mm.
Zapper program. They were having issues with their emailing system. They asked me to come take a look at it. I did. I was open about like what I need access to,
Mm.
making sure that they protect themselves, coming up with new methods so that if we ever encounter the situation again, I wrote a case document that will explain like what to do in a situation when that breaks, and also set up like test environments as well, so they
Mm.
could test this out in the future if they need to.
Okay.
Because of that, I actually got really high positive reviews from that project, that they actually were interested in potentially bringing me back on for future projects. And I
Nice.
also, when the project is completed, I make sure I follow up with them to make sure
Mm-hmm.
everything's good, because I don't like to leave work and just be gone with the wind. I want to
Yeah.
make sure that that relationship is strong, because at the end of the day, my goal is to help people. I view myself kind of like Mary Poppins. I come in, I help out, and make sure I put people on the best path forward to success.
That's good. Thank you for sharing. And now, you kind of mentioned your core values right there. You had to mention honesty. Is that just your main core value that guides you in life and in business?
Yes, honesty, because at the end of the day, you have to
Mm-hmm.
be honest with people.
Oh yeah.
You have to treat them as people.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many companies, especially in the tech sector, that just use people as walking ATMs, and I really dislike that. At the end
Yeah,
of the
me
day,
too.
people are people. You have to treat them fairly. You treat them
Mm-hmm.
fairly and respect and honesty,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to heavily appreciate you, and they're willing to do more business with you. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that not only am I being honest with them, I'm giving them pretty fair and competitive rates. On top of also just making sure that I'm offering features that most developers right now really lack. Like accessibility has only become more of a forefront over the years thanks to COVID.
Mm.
Before that, it wasn't really even considered, just because the law doesn't catch up with technology. It's normally about 10 years behind.
Mm.
So because of that, I was in the forefront of pretty much ground zero, where I worked for a company that came up with these guidelines that are now going to be used by the federal government for all future websites going forward.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Now, something a little personal here, David. So, can I share with us like what are your hobbies? What do you like to do on your free time?
Free time would definitely be keeping up with the current trends in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in this industry, always learn new skills, because as technology changes, it rapidly changes.
Mm-hmm.
What is good like 5 years ago may be outdated now. So that's a good way to keep my skills up and sharp and fresh. When it comes to non-work related hobbies, I would definitely say one of my all-time favorite hobbies is building Lego model kits.
Yeah.
Now, I currently have a ginormous Lego Jurassic Park T-Rex that's almost museum quality, and I am currently in the middle of trying to assemble that, because I am a big fan of dinosaurs.
Nice. So, how tall is it?
We're looking at about 3 feet wide.
3 feet wide.
Yep,
Okay.
from head to toe, full articulation. It's about as big as some of the Halo starships I have.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are fun model sets to build.
Nice. And you had mentioned you like to keep up with the latest technology. What are your thoughts about like using AI for like the apps they're bringing out?
With AI, you have to treat it like a tool, but
Mm.
not as a crutch. I've seen a
Okay.
lot of people try to use it as a crutch, as a one size fits all situation,
Mm-hmm.
when in actuality, you only really need to use it as an assistive device.
Okay.
You can't have it, let's say, like you have self checkout,
Mm.
but you still have people who are still cashiers, for because if they have like over 10 products,
Mm-hmm.
that's the self help's not going to be really that helpful in the long run. So that way you still have like that as an assistant technology.
Okay.
Because if it's just used as a crutch, you're just going to lead to bad work, and that can lead to like a bunch of problems. I had this situation once where I worked for Pearson Education, where no, actually, no, not Pearson Education. My bad. I apologize. It was with ImagePoint. We
Mm.
wanted to have some stuff to test out
Okay.
with artificial intelligence. I did use some of that technology like ChatGPT to help out with like some coding, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, we need something very simple. I would go through there, but then after that, I have to run a test environment that because I got to make sure it works. If it to make sure that not only does it work, but also it doesn't break anything.
Yeah.
One thing about coding a lot of people don't realize is that you try to fix one thing, potentially three more things break in the process because you have to make sure you have to test it out, make sure it works. It doesn't break anything, especially if you're an e-commerce site. That can be a big issue because if it could break something like, let's say, like your payment systems,
Yeah.
that can put you at risk because then customers won't be able to pay for those products.
Mm.
There might be exploits that can be taken advantage of, like a leak credit card information and stuff like that. So just something you have to take seriously and not lightly.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you for sharing. Now, David, what's an easy way for people to reach you if they want to get a hold of you?
They can reach me out by my LinkedIn at David Patterson Web Developer. You can also reach out to me by phone, which is 760-777-0883, or my email address at david@pattersonpixel.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And that is today's Community Spotlight. I encourage you to reach out to David. Stay tuned for the next episode.